Steve Phobos was kind of a dick. As many of his fellow Blood Elves, he was a hairstylist by profession. But one day he decided, you know what? I'm gonna take my father's weapon and my grandfather's armor, and I'm gonna take my stylish boots. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna become an adventurer. That's what he did. That's what he decided to do. And he ran out of his weird house, something, and decided, you know what? I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna get myself some green plate boots because my current boots are just awful. So he decided to listen to what the weird lady told him, and he decided, you know what? The world is full of mystery and horror, and I'm gonna be part of it. I'm gonna murder myself some mana things. And Steve, as he was usually a dick, he was being a dick to these mana worms. He used to be a dick to his sister, Amios, most of the time in his past. But now he decided, you know what? I'm gonna be a dick to everyone around me. And I'm gonna start with smashing with my father's axe. I'm gonna smash this weird thingies that fly from the sky or something. I don't know what they do. I don't know why they're here. I don't know why the weird lady told me that I should kill them. But you know what? Those things are gonna give me boots. If something, I wanna have boots. That's what Steve said. And Steve, after killing 6 of these things, felt that he became stronger. He learned a lot about this world already. And he deserved his green plate boots. Even though, I don't know if those are actually green. He decided, you know what? This lady seems trustworthy. She told me I should go kill some more stuff. So Steve summoned his trusty orc friend and told him, hey, orc friend, drive me around because I do not have a driving license yet and I need you to drive me around while I kill stuff. It's not a weird stuff that you disappear when I tell you to go away. You know, you are not a magical thing, is what Steve said. No, no, no. You are not a part of my imagination. It's just coincidence that you just start up when I need you. I say just, hey, friend, you don't even have a name. You're my orc friend, even though I've never been out of this Sunstrider Isle before. But I do have an orc friend with a weird hat that totally does not belong to this weird world that we live in. So, yeah, it makes sense. And you know what? There's a Springpaw Lynx. Some mother. Does not really care that I killed her little cub. But I need my friendly orc friend again. Hello, my friendly orc friend? Yes, drive me around is what Steve said. And Steve, you were never so wrong. This orc friend is gonna be your best friend for the next couple of minutes. Levels. And you know, Steve decided he has been out in the world for so long indeed, that he learned how to run faster. But running he did only towards some enemies. He could not run faster towards a friend. No, 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 Steve was not so inclined, even though as a blood elf male, he was used to being called gay a lot of the times by every other race in the Horde, even though he didn't really meet many of them. But that's what he was used to be called, even from his fellow females out of the blood elf faction stuff race. He was used to that, and he did not mind. He did not mind at all, and he was not quite so sure what he needed to do next, so he decided to step next to a mana rune again, because that is one thing he knew about, and he unleashed the torrent of arcane power that he had in himself. He never knew about it before, but now he knows, and now he's gonna use it and hold his head up high. Indeed. So he decided he's gonna look on his map and see what these weird people that live around him. He never met them before, they're just strangers, even though they were living on the same freaking island that he was. They told him to just go around, kill stuff, kill every living thing. It was strange to him first. At first, of course. But later on, he got used to the killing. After 5 minutes or so, he was already used to killing stuff. He saw weird creatures made of mana, if that was what mana was, and he charged them. He destroyed their lives, even though their beautiful lives were all they cared about, and never tried to do anything bad to anyone. Probably. Nobody knows. But he decided to go and murder them because that's what those weird people told him to do. They told him to murder those things. And as he murdered them, he felt that he was becoming stronger and stronger in the ways of the world. He knew a lot of the things he shouldn't know. He knew that he shouldn't be just murdering stuff and collecting rewards. And that is the way of the world. No matter what world you live in, that is the way of the world. That's what Steve decided. He said, you know what? I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna kill stuff. That is the story of Steve Phobos. He was kind of a dick. And that was used by other people who were dicks by themselves. It was used to make more dicky stuff, things, by him. Indeed, that was Steve Phobos. Kind of a dick. Kind of a dick indeed. So, let's continue the story of Steve. As he was running around, he decided, you know what? My name should be visible. Because I sometimes forget my own name. I am a proper stylist, even though I sometimes read weird things around here. That's what Steve did. He read weird things around the world while he was driving around with his friendly friend work driver, Kokoplays. That is the first time Steve learned the Kokoplays' name. He was not aware of that name before. He did not know that Kokoplays had a name. But after driving around for so long together, Steve decided, you know what, Kokoplays, I'm gonna ask you what's your name. Even though he didn't know it was Kokoplays at that point. But he asked him, Sir, Mr. Driver, we are supposed to be good friends. I can just throw you out of my pocket and you will show up, and when I don't need you anymore, you'll just disappear into thin air. So, mind you asking me your name, dear sir. And Kokoplays responded, I am Kokoplays, dear Steve. I've been with your family for many adventures. I followed your grandfather into the war of the many orcs, and towards the late something, I played with losers. Look at that, said Steve. There's a loser over here. He was of the human perfection, even though hardly you could call that perfection. It was probably some other word Steve was looking for, but could not find it in his repertoire. Steve decided, you know what, I'm gonna get this sword, even though my bags are kind of full of garbage that, for some reason, all of these weird animals had on themselves. Who would have thought, said Steve, that killing mana things, mana brins and lynxes and other stuff would give you so many useful things to one such as I, said Steve. Such as I, the adventurer of many adventures. But lucky for Steve, he had Kokoplays with him, the chauffeur, who was a great seer of knowledge and told Steve many useful things, like for instance, how to use his fist to get victory rush out of him. Because Steve did not know what the victory rush was, Kokoplays told him. That is the time and the point in the universe where you go, kill something, and then you smash another thing and heal yourself up. And while this weird man was shouting at Steve that he will have justice, and he was talking about some salamis, Steve was not quite sure why, Steve decided to go and follow up on the latest of quest these weird people gave him. Because Steve decided that this seems to be the way of the world, and Kokoplays said, yes, this is the way of the world, my child, even though I've never seen the way of this world beyond the level 20, which is when you're 20 years old. Yes, Steve, my friend, that is the way it is. I've never seen the future of this weird nation. I've never seen the future of anything, only the past, for I am Hoburn something. And even though Steve had his inventory full, he decided he's gonna continue smashing weird things, and he decided he's gonna go up to the top of this spire with Coburn something in hand. Steve had trouble remembering his name. He decided to go on top of the spire and murder the one who was, I guess, probably responsible for all this confusion on this weird island, even though Steve was not quite sure what this confusion was, but he kind of had a sense that there was some kind of confusion. So Steve went around and murdered a lot of weird arcane things, even though he didn't exactly want to do so, because Steve was a nice guy. Well, sometimes. Usually he was kind of a dick. But for now, he was a nice guy. At least that's what he told to Koak. Although Koak had his own ideas. He saw Steve murder many things. And while Steve was murdering those things, Koak thought that maybe, just maybe, Steve shouldn't be doing those things. But Steve decided, you know what, Koak? You can be a dick as well. Don't listen to him, Steve. Don't listen to him. So Steve decided he's gonna murder the last thing the people told him, and then he's gonna take Koak and they're gonna jump off the cliff and maybe live happily ever after, or quite possibly die.